cheating seems to be really common these days. I don't know if it's because of social media and people are expressing that they were cheated on that is making it seem more common, or if people really are doing a lot more cheating these days than they have in the past. But it's really become quite an issue. And I think there's a couple different ways that that I could take this, but I think what I want to express in this video is to the people who have been cheated on, who have wounds from being cheated on. It's really obvious there's a lot of men who have been cheated on. If you do research and you read comments and various things on the internet, it's really shocking how many people or how many men are expressing that they have been cheated on. And part of the reason why men have stopped putting out effort in dating and relationships is because of the cheating that they've experienced. And that's really sad. It's really sad. And it's a very hurtful thing to be cheated on. And it's not the person's fault who was cheated on. And I think that is a common thought. Like, people will express blah blah cheated on me, and they're horrible people, they suck, whatever terminology they want to use, which I think is normal. But I also think it's normal when you're cheated on to think there is something wrong with you, which is not true. First of all, you are not required to make your partner whole and complete. It is not your job to make sure that all their wishes come true and that they are completely fulfilled. Do you need to work on your relationship? Always, yes. But it is not your job to fulfill their happiness. And if you're trying to do that, you're going to fail and it's going to hurt because no one person can be everything to somebody else. The biggest fault, I think, when it comes to cheating is in people not having a clue about themselves and what they want. This to me goes back to our educational system and not teaching people about themselves or about their emotions or their feelings or anything else. But that's for another video. When you're in a partnership with somebody who cheats, it is not about you. It's not, the cheating is not about you or your inability to make your partner happy. It's about the partner. Okay? They are cheating because they are completely out of touch with what they want or what they desire, which happens a lot. And that's because our our society is more interested in teaching you how to do math and read English than in how to deal with your own wants, desires, and emotions. But it is also selfishness. It is also a lack of awareness on their part. It is thinking they can get away with something that they're most likely not going to get away with. It is on the selfishness scale. It is, I want this, but I don't want to let go of this to get this. I want both. I want my cake and eat it too. And a lot of people will attempt to do that. And some people will attempt to do it over and over and over again. It's part of their makeup because they're completely unaware of how they're affecting other people or how they're even affecting themselves. So it isn't about you. If you've been cheated on, it's about that person. And I think you have to realize that very early on to protect yourself from the pain of being cheated on. You also need to realize that just because you have been with somebody who has cheated on you does not mean that every person you meet afterwards is going to cheat on you. Because I think sometimes cheating does so much damage that we automatically, depending on how much damage it's done to you, if you come out of a cheating experience with a lot of damage, you may think that every relationship you get into, you have to take extra measures or you have to work extra hard to make sure that that doesn't happen again. And that's just not true. When you have an experience with a cheater, you work through it. You work on the healing. You realize where that energy came from. You look at it like a lesson. Maybe you didn't do the God's rejection is God's protection thing, which I never knew about until recently. But let's say that you forced a relationship. You were given signs that you probably shouldn't be in a relationship with this person in the first place. And you ignored them. And you continued on the path. And they cheated on you. Well, the universe, your angels, your guides, they all knew it was going to happen. They were trying to protect you from this situation. But you insisted that you had to be with this person. And you went down that path. That is the first step to healing your pain. You have to take responsibility for being in the situation in the first place. Because I guarantee you, there were signs at the very beginning that this was a possibility, and you ignored them. You looked the other way, and you head first anyway. Maybe you got into the relationship way too fast. Maybe and I'll tell you, that right there is probably the biggest key to cheating relationships I think I've ever experienced. If you are in a situation where sex is a major issue right off the bat, right at the beginning, you want to walk away. You want to put it on the back burner and go find somebody else. If you meet somebody and sex is not the number one thing, I mean, it could be, you could have some serious sexual attraction to this person, but you wait. You have some self-control, and you wait until you know this person a little bit better, until you have a better sense. And you have to be willing to be honest with yourself. If you meet somebody and they are spending, like, okay, one prime example from my past is you meet somebody, you start dating them, you're going to events, or maybe you go to a street fair and they're like this the whole time. They're they're not focused on you. They're focused on everybody but you. Because they got you locked up. You're with them. So they're looking at this one, they're looking at this one, they're looking at this one, they're looking at this one. That is a clear indication of you being with a cheater. Okay, this person is going to cheat on you. If you go to a bar and this person is flirting with 15 different people, they're not focused on you, you're with a cheater. You are with somebody who is going to cheat on you. So, spending a little bit of time getting to know this person, watching how they react to other people, watching how they look at other people, how they communicate with other people, watch their body language. There are signs. I'm telling you from experience. If you get really honest with yourself, you will realize that the signs were there from the very beginning, and you were the one who chose not to see them. For whatever reason, whether it was sexual attraction, whether it was, that's typically what it is. I mean, it's not love, obviously. I mean, you can love somebody early on, but if it's love, then you're going to be willing to wait a little bit on the sex. You're not going to be jumping into bed. If you meet somebody and like the first or second night you're sleeping with them, guarantee you're with a cheater. They're going to cheat on you at some point in time. If they cannot wait, they cannot respect your desire to wait. If you're saying, I just don't want to, have sexual relations with you because I want to get to know you better. What they're saying is, I want to make sure you're not a cheater. No, seriously. They're respecting you. They want to put some effort into the relationship. They want to get to know you to see if you are compatible, if the two of you have a future together. But knowing what you want before you get there is an important key. And being honest about what you want is a bigger key. And people, unfortunately, don't do that. So, if possible, you need to know who you are and what you want. If you are looking for a long-term relationship, if you are looking for your soulmate, do not rush. Take your time. Take your time. Be honest about the fact that you are looking for the one. You don't need to rush into any experiences with other people until you find the one. And it's okay if that's what you want and that's what you're waiting for. Even if your friends are doing something completely different, they have either not figured out what they want or they are taking any opportunity that they can. And then in that case, you might want to find some different friends. If you particularly are looking for a one night stand, then that's your business. It's not going to make God happy. So if you don't really, care about that, then by all means, do whatever you want to do. But understand, you need to be clear about that with the person that you are one night standing with. You need to let them know there won't be phone calls tomorrow. There won't be dates next week. This is a one night stand. And let them decide if they want to participate in that. Be honest about what you're looking for. Know what you're looking for. And that will solve a whole lot of problems. And if you are in a relationship and somebody has cheated on you, you need to end it immediately. There is no second chance. There is no, I goofed, I made a mistake, it'll never happen again. Not acceptable. If you are in a relationship and somebody cheats on you, you end it today. You end it the minute you find out that they cheated on you. And do not look back. Do whatever you have to do to get out of it. If you even suspect, there's a problem, you need to find out, follow your hunches, try to get concrete information about the situation, and leave. Because it will not change. It will not get better. And it does not matter if they're sorry. It doesn't matter if they swear they'll never do it again. The fact that it was done in the first place ends the relationship. And I am saying that because that particular act puts your emotional, your mental, and your physical health at risk. And you do not want to allow somebody to abuse you in that way. If they want to abuse themselves in that way, that's their business. But they cannot inflict it on you. So never, ever let a cheater get away with hurting you a second time. Do not allow a cheater to convince you they're not a cheater when you know that they are. Be honest about the signs that you see, because they're there. They're there at the very beginning, and you chose not to look. And if you're healing from a cheater, you need to realize that it had nothing to do with you. It was about them. And you need to take responsibility for the fact that you, on some level, allowed it to happen. You saw the signs and you pressed forward even though you knew that something wasn't right, something could be wrong here, and you made a conscious choice to continue down that path, even though the signs were telling you, don't go down that path. God's rejection is God's protection. Do not fight that. If you feel like there is some form of rejection, either blatant rejection, they turn around and walk away, or cheating rejection, or anything like that, make sure you listen. Make sure you pay attention, because you are being led in another direction. Another thing is that karmic relationships happen a lot in our younger years. Karmic relationships usually it's something that you're working out from a past life, maybe with that person, but it could also be another person that you've hurt in this life, in the past life. There's all different types of reasons for karma, but it's never a positive thing. And it usually involves some form of distress or pain. Karmic relationships have been pretty prominent in life up to this point. Now we're in an ascension process. We're going into what we're calling New Earth. Now that doesn't mean we're leaving but our consciousness is changing, our vibration is rising. And you may have had karmic relationships your whole life. I have had karmic relationships my entire life. I have no concept of what a healthy relationship in my life. I mean, I have a concept, but I've never experienced it. But I'll tell you what, I will experience it if and when I ever get into a relationship again, because I will never go through another karmic situation again. I am done with my karmic stuff. I don't care who, what, where, when, and why. It will be a soulmate or it will be no one. And I think if more people operated on that level, which I think a lot of people are actually operating on that level now, a lot of people are choosing to stay by themselves. They're not choosing to entertain karmic crap, karmic relationships. They don't want repeats of things that they've already lived through. And that is perfectly normal for this time. And I would say stay by yourself until you have found that person that will love you unconditionally for the rest of your life. And I hope that you do find that person. Blessings.